I am back with another storytime video. It has been a little bit since I have done one of these, so I figured I would come back with a really weird and crazy one and tell you guys about this. Okay, so this took place when I was in the 6th grade, and so I was like 11, maybe 12, or somewhere around there. And I actually remembered this story because I was just walking around my house, and then I came across this old thing, and you guys might be like, what does this have to do with anything? But the reason that I keep this thing, and even though it's basically falling apart a little bit and I kind of just broke it a little bit more, carrying it up here, is because of this story time. Just because of this story. That's the only reason I keep this thing. And I mean, it's a really good story. So anyway, so I was in the 6th grade and they gave us an assignment in math class or something, and they were like, okay, you guys need to build something and something. I don't really remember the parameters of the assignment, but I do remember that for some reason I was making a pyramid out of popsicle sticks, and it took way too long, and I will never do that again because it just it took so long, and it was just oh my gosh, it was not worth it. So anyway, I ended up finishing the project, and all of these are just popsicle sticks that are glued together and then spray painted, and then this one is this little section is spray painted gold. I don't know why. So I finished the project, turned it in, and then, you know, how teachers kind of take a little bit, and if it's an actual project like that, they will usually keep it in their room for a few days, and then they'll get around to grading it, and then you take your project home. So my teacher was like, okay guys, I finally graded everything. This was a few weeks later. So she got around to grading everything, and she was like, okay, so you guys can go ahead and take your projects home, and if you guys don't want them, then I can just throw them out for you, but they're there if you want them, you know? So I was like, okay, I am gonna take mine home because I don't really want her to go through the effort of throwing it out, and also it took way too long to make that thing, so I'm gonna keep it for a little bit. But I was thinking that I was gonna keep it more for a week, not for the next 7 or 8 years, which is how it's turned out. Anyway, so I was gonna go and grab my project and stuff, and then it wasn't there, and I was like, what? There was just a disconnect because I was like, okay, she said she graded it, it's not here. Maybe she still has it in another closet, or, you know, another section, because you know how teachers have those walls that move, and they're whiteboards, and then there's closets behind them, and they have a lot of storage in classrooms. Anyway, so I was thinking maybe she just put it over there because there are too many projects, or maybe she took it to a teacher workroom and was grading some more things there, or I don't know. So I was like, okay, I'm gonna ask the teacher what's up. So then I asked her, and she's like, no, everything that I graded was right there. And so I was like, oh no, because then I thought that she didn't get my project and I didn't have a grade, and I put all that time and effort into nothing. And also it didn't make any sense because I was like, what would have happened to it? It's a huge popsicle stick pyramid. How does it just disappear? What happened? So then I had to not only find out that I did have a grade, because I asked her, I was like, did you grade it? Did I even get a grade? Did it just disappear beforehand? What happened? So I asked the teacher again, I was like, it's not here. Did you actually grade it? Did I just I don't know, hallucinate that I made this gigantic popsicle stick pyramid? Where is it? So then she was like, yeah, it is in my grade book, and you got an A. Can I just say that I got an A on this? Yes. Anyway, so I got an A on it. But where was the actual thing? That's what I needed to know. So I had no idea where it would have gone. I was like, how does this happen? But then by the end of class, I still had not found out anything. I just knew that I had an A. So I was like, well, what you gonna do? I mean, it was a lot of effort, but I got an A, and that's the whole point of it. So then afterwards, I went to my other classes and stuff, and just throughout the whole day I was like thinking like, what happened to my project? How does it just like up and disappear? Did the janitor accidentally like break in and then they felt bad and then they threw it away? Or is my teacher just like blanking? Because sometimes that happens. Teachers have way too many kids as projects and then sometimes they like forget where they put it or they lose it. It has happened before, so I would not be surprised. But when it's like a paper, you can just like print it out again. But when it's like a gigantic pyramid of popsicle sticks, it's like a little harder to lose. And it's like, I just don't understand what was happening. So anyway, so then lunch comes and I'm like, whatever, I'm just gonna eat and I will deal with this later and I'm just gonna go with my friends and I don't know. I was just kind of like, I'm just gonna like press pause on the issue for now and I will pick this back up later. So then I was at lunch and just like walking towards the table where my friends and I would sit, and then I see this random kid that I'm not friends with, that I don't know, who apparently goes to this school because I've never seen this child before. I see that kid holding my project, just carrying it like a baby, like this. Like, what? So then I see this kid holding my project and I'm just like my first reaction is just like, is that actually my project? Just like, what? Because why would this other kid have my project? What would he want it for? It's not like you can turn it in for another grade, you know? So then I am like trying to figure out what to do. So I went to the table and I was like eating because I was super hungry. And then I remember that I was just kind of like figuring out what to do. And then I was like, you know, if I'm gonna get this thing back, I have to kind of like take action now, because now is the time. I see them right now with my project. I wonder if they knew that it was my project. I don't know if they just were like, ooh, a popsicle stick pyramid, that's like my aesthetic, you know, and then they like wanted it for decoration or something. I don't know. So then I like knew that I didn't have too much time, because it was like, well, I gotta do it now, because if I want this thing back, like, it's just gotta be now, because otherwise he's gonna leave and I don't know who this kid is. I can't be like, hey, remember that kid that was like here 5 minutes ago? He has my project. No one's gonna believe me. They're gonna be like, you are crazy. You don't know their name, you don't know anything about them, but you say that they have their project, your project, like, you know? So then I end up going to the kid and I'm like, can I have my project back? That's my project. Why do you have my project? And then he was like, no, this thing is mine. And I was just like, oh my god, am I like actually going crazy right now? And I was just like, no, that is my project. I spent like a few hours, I spent way too many hours making that, and it was mine. I know that it's mine. And then he's like, no, it's mine. So then I tell him like, it literally has my name on it. This is my project. So then he's like, oh really? Show me where your name is. And this thing, I've like cut out like a lot of the cardboard, because now I want it to be like a little bit more like easy to store, I guess, as easy as a pyramid of popsicle sticks can be to store, you know. But this thing used to have more cardboard, like a longer piece of cardboard on it. And my name was on it, and like my class number and everything, you know, how you have to like write all that stuff out when you're in school. So then I see that this kid has scribbled it out in black Sharpie, and right next to it he wrote his name and his like class number, and I was just like, who does that? Like, it was already graded as my project, so he didn't even get it graded as his project. Like, I have no idea what his reasoning behind that was, but it was already there. It wasn't like he just whipped out the Sharpie just to like disprove that it was mine. Like, I have no idea what was going through that kid's head. So then I am like, oh my god, it did not even Sharpie my name out all the way. it's still there. Like, he put like a few lines through it, but not enough to actually like take out my full name. You could still see like the top of the A and like the rest of my name and stuff. And so I was like, you crossed out my name, it's my project. And he was like, sorry, no, it says my name right here. It's my project, you know? And I was just like, are you kidding me? This is the weirdest thing ever. Because, like, what do you want this for? I want it because it's mine. I didn't want it before, but now that you have it, I want it back. So then I just had to kind of be like, you know, this is just my project. Give it back to me. It's mine. You know it's mine. I know it's mine. My teacher knows that it's mine. Like, please just give me back my project. I have no idea what you want it for. Can I just have this thing back? I worked really hard on it. And then he finally, after a few minutes of me just like bothering him, because I was not gonna let him have that. So after a few minutes of him denying that it was my project and me bothering him incessantly that it was my project, you know, then I eventually wore him down, and then I was like, it's my project, just give it to me. And he was like, okay, fine. And then I finally got the project back. And you know, I did not really care about that project too much, but after I got it back from some strange kid that I've never really seen before, carrying it around, I was like holding that thing like it was like a trophy or something, because I was super proud of it after that. And I was just like, people were fighting over this, you know, people were stealing this thing. Plus I had gotten an A on it, so it was like a good day overall. But that is the reason that I still have this thing, because it was such a weird story. Who does that? I've never had that experience with any other project except this one. So that's literally the only reason I still keep this thing. Like, it's not even that great. It literally is not that great. An 11 or 12-year-old, I don't know how old I was at the time, made it. And it's just like super not that great, but you know, when somebody else like takes something that you had and you weren't fully ready to like get rid of, then all of a sudden you want it like way more. And it's super petty of me to be like that and to like still have it, but it's just like, I don't know, that's just how I deal with these things. But I've never had that experience with any other project for the remainder of my schooling. I never had to deal with anything like that. It was just a really weird experience, so that's why I keep that thing. It was really like just so crazy, and I have no idea who that child was. Like, why did you want to take someone's project? Did you want to take my project because you didn't like me? Did you want to take my project because you liked the project? Did you want to take it so that you could get your own grade on it? I have no idea. I have so many unanswered questions about that little popsicle thing. Anyway, so I thought I would tell you guys about that story because it's so weird and just like, what? That I just had to tell you guys about it. So I thought that you guys would enjoy this story time. So anyway, be sure to give this video a thumbs up if you enjoyed it. Also, don't forget to follow me on Twitter and Instagram and Snapchat. All my social media links are right here, and everything is just at AmyCrouton. It makes it so much easier that way. Also, if you guys want to support me on Patreon, I would really appreciate it. You guys can support me with whatever you want. So I know it was like a really crazy story, but I just really wanted to share it with you guys. Anyway, if you guys like this video, be sure to give it a thumbs up. And also don't forget to follow me on Twitter and Instagram and Snapchat and all my social medias. My username for all of those are just at AmyCrouton. It makes everything so much easier. And you guys can just follow me on there to check out whatever I'm doing when I'm not filming videos or posting videos. And you guys can see so many pictures of my kitten and my dog. They're so cute. What else was I gonna say? Also, if you want to support me on Patreon, I would really appreciate it. You guys can click right here to do that. Also, if you guys are new here, don't forget to subscribe by clicking my face right there. That way you get notified every time I post a new video. And also, if you guys are new here, or if you're just like coming back for more videos, then you guys can click right there or right there to check out my other videos. And I will talk to you guys later. Bye!